Happy New Year and welcome to the All About You show with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about and some things you don't. I am your host, OMG, along with a full house of hosts today.
Silky Smooth,
Daydream,
your wellness warrior, Susan Nett.
As always, family, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today we're going to talk about the world in 2019. But today we're going to discuss the normal resolutions made every year for the new year. Might that be diet, exercise, nutrition, as well as portion control. Now also, as we discuss the topic of portions, the second portion of our show, we're going to take a look at a magazine cover called The Economist and their assessment of the world in 2019. Now sadly, we have as of now entered into the new year with our government being partially shut down for a full 2 weeks. Could this be a precursor for the information to follow on the magazine cover? For instance, in 1988, The Economist magazine was quite accurate, actually, in predicting digital currency and the New World Order. It is suspected that this information, while predictive, is perceived to be with accuracy as well. We will discuss that later, but for now, let's start the discussion for New Year's health and wellness with our wellness warrior, Susan Nett.
Hey.
Happy
New Year, everyone.
everybody.
You know what? I was looking up some stuff trying to determine what I was going to do. And what I'll do first is, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am a heart attack survivor. Had a heart attack when I was 43 years old, sitting on my couch doing absolutely nothing.
That's how it happened.
And for all of those, I know we hear a lot of times that women do not have chest pains. That is very much correct. A lot of times we don't. Myself, I did not have any chest pains. From front to back, no chest pains. What I did have, seething shoulders, cramping, kind of cramping that you've never experienced in your life and in your shoulders of all places. Then shortness of breath. That's very real. I think that's across the board,
Yeah.
a sign that is very typical. Then this crazy kind of clammy sweating. The kind of sweating you do when you have a cold and you know you're cool, but you're sweating anywhere and you're like, that feels nasty.
Yeah, that's sticky.
And I, for the first time in my life, rode an ambulance, showed up in the ER, and had the most amazing team who was able to say that even though your EKG is not showing it right now, we're going to monitor you a little bit longer because your symptoms say you're having a heart attack.
Wow.
So,
Just don't even tell me.
you know what I'm saying? I was doing the woo-saw because I was concerned, but definitely had one. I was fortunate enough. They said where you had it is the best place to have it if you're going to have it. I didn't have to have a stent nor open heart surgery. They did everything to test me. And I'll tell y'all, stress will kill you. I just say that, stress will kill you.
Absolutely.
A perfect storm will kill you. So one of the things that I thought about is going into 2019, what is the number one resolution that everyone makes?
Diet.
Right.
I'm going to lose weight.
lose
My
weight.
mother made every
Lose
year.
weight.
She said it. Nothing
Everybody
ever
gets
happened.
better
Everyone's
shape.
big.
Absolutely.
Eat better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be your better friend. Whatever.
And it gets so easy to make it because we never feel that we're doing what we need to do for ourselves. That's a part of self-care.
Right.
So what I did was I decided I'm going to have a series of these, but I'm going to start with 2 right now. There's a list of how your body rebuilds itself in less than 365 days. So one of the things I started with is the brain. Did you know that the stuff we do to our poor brains, it takes it a year to heal? And that's a year of doing the things that we should do.
Mm-hmm.
And the ways that it becomes sick is the things we put in it, the activity we don't do, the mindset that we have. Those are some of the things that deteriorate our brains from doing what they need to do. So it takes it a year of doing the right thing
recuperate.
for it to
But
recuperate.
the operative thing is doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
That's what- yeah.
Absolutely. And I tell people perfection is a myth, but you do have to put forth more effort than you ever imagined when it comes to the brain. And also in our blood, it takes you 4 months for those cells to turn over, for those nutrients to get involved, so that your blood is healthier than it's ever been. So just real quickly here, I'm going to talk about the things you can do and then the things you can eat to help both of them. Like I said, I have a series of them, but we're going to start with those 2. When it comes to the brain, mental stimulation. All that, y'all know we talk about that on the show all the time. All that mindless phone stuff you're doing.
Yeah. Sorry. It's gonna catch
I
up with you.
downloaded Michelle Obama's book and I got the Audible version because it's actually narrated in her voice.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So that's why I want the Audible. It's her voice.
Uh-huh.
So would that be mental stimulation?
You know what? I think in a sense that it is because it causes you to still pay attention.
Yeah, you still have to read.
Right.
You read.
No, you're not reading. You're listening. That's
No,
different.
you're
She's
reading. You have to
reading.
read along with
Okay,
it. You
okay.
read along with it. And then I've been studying Spanish. Does
Yes,
that help with the mental
absolutely.
stimulation?
Absolutely, because you're firing off parts of your brain that might not normally be fired off because you're using it in a different way to learn
Right.
a language. Crossword puzzles,
Oh, yeah, I love
new
word
sorts
puzzles.
of activities.
Sudoku?
Yeah,
Okay.
knit, run different things that will mentally, because even though running is a
jigsaw puzzle.
exact,
That's it.
absolutely.
That's my
it.
dad. That's
Absolutely.
his thing.
I'm
He
a
loves
word
it.
person. I find the words and it just
Absolutely,
I
that's
love
us.
that.
That is us.
And I tell
That
you
is
something
us.
else. I even color.
Coloring is
Ooh,
such
yeah.
a great
Actually
stress
color.
reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a quote unquote adult
Coloring
coloring
book.
book, which is
Yeah.
really just a bunch of different designs
I know, I
and
have the
everything.
same
It's like
thing,
I'm,
but I
I'm
get
cool
in
if you give me a
And
Disney
I
book.
color.
Me too. I don't care to go to the doctor.
Coloring is
anyway.
fun.
You
It's
still have to
relaxing.
focus to do those things because you got to choose a
Absolutely.
color palette. Then you got to think about the design
gotta
and
color
how
inside
you feel
the
about it.
Right.
You gotta
Or
stay
not.
inside
Come
the
on.
line, or
You can
not.
take it or not.
You may
You
not.
can take it or not. But it's funny because even with the running, that produces a physical stimulation that is also beneficial for the brain. And when you're changing your diet, what you're putting in your body, we were talking about avocado oil, good fats. Good fats are good for the brain. Now, we're not talking about that nonsense you get the fast food plates. We're talking
Right.
about good, healthy fats, the nuts, the seeds, the oils. Those things are good for the brain. And you all don't sleep on drinking water. 75% water. And what you mean you're not drinking water? That means that you are not providing your body with what it needs for the nutrients to get through the brain to circulate. See, there you go.
Water, people, alkaline water.
Oh,
Go ahead. And that's
yes.
another thing to make sure to keep your body more alkaline than acidic. Because in acidity, that's where disease can grow.
Right.
So we're doing that.
That
We're
cancer festers.
Absolutely, and it loves it. It loves it. And then also for getting to the blood. Once again, of course, movement. Get the blood circulating. Get everything moving the way that it needs to move so that the blood in our body can continue to regenerate. But breathing.
All of them.
Michelle
Breathing.
Obama talked about that was the Get Up and Move campaign that
Mm-hmm.
that she initiated. So that
Absolutely.
comes into play for the blood then.
So I'm saying something that Michelle said. I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
That was their
Just smart
campaign.
like
She's the
that.
first lady.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
But being able to breathe and breathing in a way that also helps to circulate the blood in our systems and circulate it in a proper way, but it also reduces stress. So you're doing that, and that impact on your blood also impacts your blood pressure.
Absolutely.
Blood pressure.
And I can tell you something else from experience. By having diabetes, when you exercise, your body makes its own insulin.
Yeah.
So that's why for a diabetic, exercise is very important. So
Absolutely.
I'm a witness to that because my sugar, my A1C was trying to creep up, and when I got back into running, it went back down the floor.
And the same way for
And
me
it
and my
was
blood
over
pressure.
5. Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as
Yeah.
you exercise a little bit.
it does.
And
So
people
I'm
have-
a witness to that.
And I think people have to understand too, it doesn't mean that you're spending every day 4 hours a day in a gym. It means you're doing some sort of movement that's causing that blood to circulate.
Absolutely.
So then also, we're just going to run into a few foods, plant-based foods,
Absolutely.
plant-based. Keep
Broccoli?
it healthy. Yeah.
I love broccoli.
Run in there clean that, keep that blood flowing cleanly. Iron-rich foods.
Spinach.
You can get
Spinach
those,
and beans.
and people don't understand that you can get that in plants as well
It's
as
meat. They go
meat.
to meat. I don't
you know, you got your vegetarian. She's like no.
know.
And
Okay.
keeping just what we were saying, keeping all those crazy sugars and all the kind of carbs that you should not be having
Right.
that are also processed around and keeping that out of your system. So looking at those things that help, and a lot of it's crossover.
Mhm.
A lot of it, if you do one, the other will follow because you can't help but.
But
So keeping those things on your mind and in your body, and making those slow but consistent transitions. Because a lot of people think, well, I can't do it all. I might as well stop. No, because your body dictates that you better not stop.
Yeah, do it gradually. Add, you don't just take off on a
Yeah.
marathon.
No.
You
I'm
train
that
for
person,
that.
I think. I'm like, I don't
Really,
know.
you for a marathon, you train for at least 6 months, like a year. The people I know
Absolutely.
that've done them.
Absolutely.
Take us to break. I think we're going to break.
Well, and you all, please call us, watch us on the Facebook feed, text us, let us know what you are thinking. And you know what? I don't have the phone number committed. 713-789-0096. I'm going to do better, y'all. I'm going to do better. I'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, well, you were having As soon as you said that, I was like, oh,
I'm gonna be a sweat with a light on.
You were
Sharing the hot seat.
But you know,
Share your opinion by calling 713-789-0096. Stay tuned.
Reading a good book is intimate self-indulgence. Hi, this is Silky Smooth with the All About You show.
So, yes. Okay, remember I talked to you guys. I wanted her to do her thing, debut to do the millennial moment.
Okay.
I was gonna have Gloria at some point. She was supposed to do the author's attic. So, and that's about new
Right,
books
right,
that's
right.
out there. So since you're reading, what's name? You may want to do, and you read a lot too. So we need to.
Since I'm doing the show.
Yeah, at some point, but you got to do it consistently because with books because we're gonna talk about author's attic when we have people who who have written books. Hopefully they will buy an ad and then come in on the show because that way we get to continue to promote their
Right.
book or whatever it is after they
Which
gone,
opens, right.
which opens up a whole other thing. right?
Absolutely. And
And
people
like
want to
the-
hear that because some people wouldn't know if they didn't hear.
Yeah, and somebody told me today that basically I lost my thought. I'm looking at something. I'm sorry, I got a lot of things.
That's okay.
I had two deaths in my family. One funeral today and the other was
Sorry.
first of the year.
First of the year,
I know.
yeah. Not that it's great any time, but the first of the year it just seems like a lot more taxing. So what do we? I've gone through my list. So
Okay.
how are we on time frame? I wanted to say it kind of quickly so
Okay.
that we were.
I'll come back in and let you.
I didn't
do that.
want
And then
to.
you got our thing up? Oh, yeah. I think we still need our little. No, not that. I mean, our what's name?
Come back, Sylvie. Come
It's okay.
back.
Where are you?
Come back. So what do you need me to just read this?
I'll bring it back
next?
in.
Chewing grapes.
Then I'll bring it back in, and then you can.
Yeah, that's right where you was back.
And then we'll have to go straight into
Gotcha.
this.
Okay. And you want me to read this one?
So you gotta get the skin. Happy New Year, family, and we are back. You're listening to the All About You show with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. Before we went to break, we had our wellness warrior, Susan Ned, giving us some tips. And I think she had some foods that would somewhat encourage us living properly. Into
I
the
hope
next year.
so. I hope so. I hope so. You know what? People need to get in the mindset where they start to embrace what it is they can eat. Because people get so bent out of shape the minute they hear about what they shouldn't be eating. And to also do some research on your own. I would say we do all this research about when the ticket's going to go on sale and when we can get them for cheap.
Right.
Stuff.
We need to investigate those things that
That's
you want to
valid
eat.
to your life.
Exactly. That also can be. And here's the thing. I'm here to help. So let me tell you something. I'm a soul food baby, but I have figured out ways to make them in ways that are more healthy. So I promise you that my email address is available. So if you want to find out more ways to alter the things that you love in a healthier way and not sacrifice flavor, I can help you with that, because that is what needs to happen, and we need to start early with our kids as well.
Oh, the earlier the better.
And I'm gonna read this lovely little. I love this little thing. Thank you for sharing with me, OMG. It says, "There is no better time than now to start living healthy. Set a goal, create a plan for how to achieve that goal. Start with something that is manageable and specific. For example, plan to do some light to moderate exercise 3 times a week. You could start with 10 minutes and build up to 30. So start small, y'all. Start small.
That's how it happens. You can't eat an elephant all at one time. It's got to be
You try.
Bits and pieces.
Bits and
Well,
pieces.
thank you for that,
Thank
Susan.
you all.
Now, guys, okay, now, as I mentioned earlier, the second portion of our show, we're going to talk about the world in 2019. And this actually came out towards the latter part of last year, just after Christmas, pretty much.
Right.
And the cover of the book was kind of covert. They didn't have a cover at first. They just had the world in 2019 with none of the graphics. But at any rate, they did come out with it. We decided to talk to you about it. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm wondering if the governmental shutdown that's already taken place, you have to think about these things. That could very easily be the precursor to lead into all of these things.
Oh yeah.
So you guys, this magazine cover is by The Economist. And as I mentioned, they were very accurate in 1988 predicting the things they did. And they call this predictive programming. So this is what's happening. They're telling you now, in plain sight, what's getting ready to go down.
Right.
And this is the same stuff that we're trying to tell you. So if you get
So we're telling you the truth part
the
of it.
real,
We're not-
the real
yeah,
version.
we're not we're not omitting things, you know,
No.
lying by omission. Well, I didn't, you know, I said this, but I didn't mean, you know,
Right.
we're not doing that. We're
Absolutely.
helping you to decipher and read between the lines.
And make the decision on your own. But on this cover, guys, if you can pull it up, you know, online of friends out there and family that we've got, then it's called The World in 2019 by The Economist. Now, I have the picture in front of me, and what it is, guys, it is the world. And what stands out to me is the Vitruvian Man, who is in the center. Now, as you know, Leonardo da Vinci, the 500-year anniversary of his death is this year. And so the Vitruvian Man was supposed to be put together for symbols of proportions and stuff like that. But also, Da Vinci was part of the Freemasons. So therefore, during the time when he was around, there were a lot of secret societies. So it is said that there are a lot of secrets tied to the Vitruvian Man. I mean, we won't see it, but for those who it's meant
Well,
to
think
see,
about the Da Vinci Code,
Absolutely.
the Holy
Right, right,
Grail,
right.
all of that is tied into it. All of
absolutely,
it.
it's all tied to Freemasonry. So what I'm looking at now here, you have the Vitruvian Man with gargles on, like night gargles. You know, I don't know, and you don't need those very often. I mean, unless you have some military.
I was gonna say unless
What,
there's
yeah.
something-
Why do you need? Yeah.
To be able to see in the dark when others can't see you if
Right.
you're trying to ambush someone or you're.
And if you guys have time, like I said, pull it up. You know, it's the World in 2019 by the Economist. You know, it also has him with his arms out. He has 4 arms. In his right hand, he has marijuana. And the marijuana is supposed to represent at some point, marijuana will be legal. However, the government will legalize a different marijuana than what's happening now
Well,
to
they-
help disrupt your DNA.
Absolutely. So they've already started throwing little articles and headlines
getting
out
you
there about
ready.
about how you know they've created and approved a synthetic marijuana that has more
This is it right
benefits and there's nothing more
It's on the
natural.
screen.
Right. There's nothing more natural than
Marijuana.
The one
it
that
is
comes
natural
from
state.
nature.
that God-
That
The
comes
one
from
that
the
God
earth.
has created that's come from the earth, whether you grow it still in soil or hydroponics, but you don't alter it. And
Well,
that's what they're
altering
changing.
everything now. This is
Absolutely.
what,
Right.
We have,
But
family,
we don't.
we have it on the screen.
So you're
right
talking
now.
about like K2 altering
Yes.
it?
So, and that's what I was going to get at. I know we, when we were out on vacay, that we commented a little about that K2 spice, you know, Kush, the synthetic marijuana, potpourri, whatever you want to call it. That eats at your brain. It's nothing but
That
chemicals.
makes zombies.
And the
All of this is
absolutely.
real.
I know somebody that
Hello,
found up in the
people.
house.
The Walking
They think
Dead.
this is a
Absolutely.
joke. They
The
think this is a
Walking
joke.
Dead. Those
Yeah.
of you who are addicted to K2 spice or to any other drugs, crack, cocaine, heroin, you are the Walking Dead. You are walking zombies.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. My
You
friend's
know,
daughter
and-
wound up in the hospital. 'cause
Bath salts,
smoking, but they tricked her, you know, and she smoked synthetic marijuana. Almost
You
killed
can.
her.
I'm not gonna believe
Well,
that
you know,
part. I'm
you
sorry,
know,
not to
there
be
is- there-
totally.
No,
insensitive
she
to
was
it.
going to get.
You
going
can
to
smell
smoke
it.
with them. Well, I don't
You
know
can
that
smell
she,
the difference. It does not smell like marijuana at all.
It's synthetic, so why? how
It
could
smells like potpourri. It smells like perfume. It has this sweet smell to it. It does not smell anything like marijuana.
Some people just want to get high.
Oh.
And they will take on whatever.
Oh,
But
they think
you
it's
do-
funny.
You guys do remember when there was a homeless man who had chewed. There was a guy who smoked bath salts, whatever it was, and actually chewed off half this man's
I remember
face.
that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That is the walking zombie, and they think this is a joke. This is not, and all of it is right there on that screen in some language that's written backwards. And as
Oh,
you
yes.
know, anything written
You
in
know
a-
that's
We
you know
noticed
that's
that,
a demonic
yes.
presence
They
right
know
there.
this, you know,
The
but
backward, the upside
the
down.
inversion, the reverse, the backwards is called mirror script. You'd have to put it in the mirror to actually read what it is. So, guys, when you start seeing this stuff, this is more than just pictures on a cover, because, as I said, it took the magazine people a while before they even released it. They did it at the very last minute. Okay, that's so you don't have time to think about it and continue to be dumbed down as a result of it. But also, like I said, on his forearm is the helix DNA strand on the Vitruvian man's arm.
okay.
That too will be a part of, as I mentioned about the marijuana and all, altering your DNA.
Right.
Mark of the beast.
Okay, and
And
we're
planting microchips.
absolutely they've been doing this for quite some time, and we are giving them their information by signing over our DNA to Ancestor.com and all this other stuff.
23andMe.
Yeah, you know, you all don't think about the other side of what you are providing the government with.
Right, because where does it go? What do they then do with that? That's my thing. They'll
Right.
say, I'm giving you this, and then what? What are you going to do? Am I going to get it back? Am I going to know that you didn't do anything else
You
with it?
signed
No,
off
not at
when you
all.
signed off for that to send it off.
You sure
and now
did.
they have something else, some sort of Go Swab or something swabbing your. It's another service that's out there. I just saw it yesterday where you take the swab and it's GoSwab.com or something, and it's more DNA information. So now there's being a mad push to get your DNA information.
Especially
Henrietta's
minorities.
genes.
I've noticed that. I've noticed a lot of ads and sponsorships that have been coming up on Facebook feeds and on different, even on different TV channels. But they're encouraging more minorities, specifically Hispanics, to get this testing and stuff done for our health.
Well,
And I totally don't believe that.
Well, you know, it's
Whatever.
always a reason where it serves you, but ultimately, and
It
you
does
know,
not.
Well, I'm
it
saying that's how
serves
they're
them. That's how
marketing
they
it.
market it.
Yeah.
It's all in how you market. You know.
And they use fear to make you think, oh my goodness, you're going to catch some disease we can't remedy because you didn't get tested in time.
Well, they create most of them, so it's kind of like
Right,
what the
you're
heck.
gonna
Right.
get the disease we create.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
right.
And we have the cure not to be getting
Right,
sick.
Or we
right.
need to know what disease is going to fester the fastest
Right.
for your
Right.
lineage.
You do have
so.
Agenda 21, which is depopulation, which is on the first and top of the list. But as you go to his other right arm, he's got a baseball.
Right.
And I don't know if that is to imply, no, baseball was the typical American
All
dream,
American, right.
you know, and I don't know what that means, but he has a baseball in one hand and the cannabis in the right hand, which they're implying would have something to do with the DNA and
All
altering. All American, that's what I thought. And then in the left hand, he has a cell phone with a QR code.
Mm.
Now, I don't know where that would lead you, but I guess that code can take you to when you know, put your phone up to it, takes you to whatever page or whatever.
It holds all kinds of information.
Really?
Yes, all kinds. You can put your phone over a QR code and you can get websited. Whatever they put
Whatever
in
you
there,
get, right.
you can grab all kinds of stuff just from a simple,
Just putting your phone there.
just put your phone. They're like with Snapchat. And all you people who think these filters are cute, oh, I'm a cute little bunny. I'm a cute little puppy. That's facial recognition, people.
That's exactly what it is. And also, speaking of facial recognition, you guys have a copy of the picture that's over there?
I had one.
But
I don't have the whole thing, but I had part of it.
anyway, they do show facial recognition. If you
They
look
sure
on
do.
the screen, you will see to the right at the top, you will see some face with all the you know numbers and
Right.
You know, they're doing that at airports right
That's
now.
exactly right. You know.
Oh yeah. During the
Well, I've said this before. I know my sister-in-law, she lives in Mexico, but when she got her passport, her and the boys got their passport, they had a retinal scan.
Yeah, you told me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Mexico people,
Yeah. Okay.
okay?
And so
you know,
that
this
they're
third
doing it
world
here. So
country
you know
and
they're
everything
doing
else.
it
So
here. You know.
it's going on everywhere else. I know that's not the first country to have
Absolutely
it.
not.
Because she even asked my brother, like, hey, they did a retinal scan. He's like, what are you talking about?
Well, even your
She
license.
goes, yeah, for the passport.
Your license are going to be different. Your driver's
I
license
believe
here in
that.
Texas, it's going to show some. I can't think of what it is. This is a while
Mhm.
back that I looked it up. But more importantly, all of your information would be if you have a star or something in the right hand corner, it means something. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
whole
the driver's
lot of
license,
stuff.
it means you're federally
Oh,
cleared.
federal. It's
You could-
tied to federal.
Right, you
Mhm.
can
That's it.
you can use that driver's license to board a plane. You take a
Wow.
flight, whereas before you had to have a passport.
Absolutely.
Well, now if you have that, if your driver's license has been federally cleared, and see, when I did my driver's license these last few times, I used my passport as a second ID. So I'm assuming that's how I got federally cleared.
Well, you know, there
Because
are
I used the passport, they had all that.
You know,
Gotcha,
there's so
gotcha.
They
many
linked
things-
everything.
There's so
Everything's
many
linked.
things that we don't know because you know what? If you really go back, I have so much information in my head. Basically, you don't really have to have a license in order to drive.
You don't.
And also, most of us don't realize that we are actually stock because America is a company. Your birth certificate is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, all of this stuff
Wow.
that we don't get, it's absolutely true. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you exactly what I've read and researched. But then, you know, again, going back to facial recognition, you have the panda that's sitting on the top of the earth. Y'all know that's China.
China.
Mm-hmm.
With an
Yeah, I saw
attitude.
that.
And an attitude.
Like, hey.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
It's very smug.
Absolutely.
A smug
Sitting on top of the world.
And then they're
Really
saying
smug
in the
panda.
right hand corner that the crescent moon has something to do with occult or witchcraft.
Wow.
And they show some sort of little satellite or something here going to the moon as if because we really didn't go the first time.
Maybe
So
we're
maybe we get ready to go this time, right? Okay, because you heard the guy himself say
Right.
he said we didn't go. You know, so that's some other things. Then you've got these what do you guys see that you have volcanoes in the back? That
Right.
could possibly speak on some volcanic eruption, major
Well, this-
Mount Fuji or
2018,
Rainier.
there was a lot of volcanic activity that was going on.
Well,
a
they're
lot
telling
of
you-
earthquakes
they're
in places
telling
that
you
never
now.
had.
They're
you know,
telling you now. This is where y'all need to look at this. This
Well,
is your
it's going
life
to
pattern.
continue.
That stork.
Yes. Tell them.
So, my thing is, as much as we hear about them messing with DNA,
People don't
It's a
believe
stork with a barcode, people, for those
Exactly.
who aren't paying attention or can't see it well enough.
right?
Yeah,
got
I'm
a
gonna
barcode
pick
on
the
it.
blue eyes with the brown hair, and I want that nose, and
I
that's
want
all.
them light complexion.
Absolutely, and I believe that is exactly what that
That's
means.
exactly
that
And
you
I
what
can-
want
it is.
and I want to have twins, and I want one
That's
boy
exactly
and
what
one
it is.
girl.
girl, right?
So in other words, God is taken out of the equation, and everything is man. Because Da Vinci, I think, was also believed and purported that man is his own God, and this is where we have a lot of these kids following these celebrities
Right.
Right.
who feel like they are their own gods, and they create and make their own, luck, favor, blessings,
Meanwhile,
whatever it
back
is.
at the ranch, people
Meanwhile-
are miserable.
Exactly right,
Right.
Now you also have your president to the left of this picture. I don't know if they are taking pictures of that hair or what that is.
I don't know what I saw that too, and I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
because I saw a facial rec, but then I saw that one. I was like,
Where's he at? He's over.
Right
That's
here.
he's across from the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you-
But it looks
Oh,
like
you said the
facial
left.
rec- Yeah.
I'm looking on the other left.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is saying something about.
But if you
do
notice,
oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What is
It's
it?
saying something about. Do you notice the outline of an upside down American flag?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what that.
That's what that
lines
is.
are.
Oh, it is the stars will go here and the flag there. Y'all need to.
Okay, the
there's a
stars
lot-
upside
there's a
down and
lot-
backwards
there's
stuff. We know what that
upside
means.
down, backwards, inverts. Y'all need to see this. We're not making this up.
I'm just
You
reading.
probably have them more explained. 'Cause
And see, what I was
interject,
going
but I've got
to
quite a
point
few.
out
Okay,
is if you notice under the Vitruvian Man, underneath his armpit,
Uh-huh.
are those ballot
Me
boxes?
too.
Yes, that's what that is.
Are those not ballot boxes underneath his
Oh,
armpit?
they are
Mhm.
for elections, absolutely. And I think this year you have major countries like India and Africa having major elections,
Yes.
and so they're going to be involved. You know how
Mhm.
Americans do. We in
Right.
our
Oh, we
business,
always-
everybody else's business.
Everybody's business is our business.
until it
Especially
needs
if
to be
you
our
have something that we
business.
want. So
right,
what
right,
you got
right.
here on Pinocchio?
This one's this one we got Pinocchio, and then there was Putin. But on Pinocchio, they said right behind Putin is Pinocchio, a puppet whose nose grows after telling a lie. But
We all
then
get
it
that.
says so. The cover implies that someone will lie in 2019. But
That's
who?
all of them.
Trump and Putin, the only two politicians on the cover. Just reading, y'all. Don't
That's
you
right.
mess-
They all been
The elite general, Kanye.
Wow.
There's no clear answer.
See again, but there's going to be major grand lies because the nose is
Mm-hmm.
exponentially long.
There was a
so-
reporter that talked about that too. He said, when you get to the place where people who once thought you were going to tell the truth, you were going to do certain things, have now started to abandon ship. Now you have to revisit what do they know that we don't know, because that's the other thing. They believed you when you said ... and now they're jumping ship,
Mhm.
and they know more than we know. So there's a reason for that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just they're giving us all the indications right here. And did you have anything on the what you have some
The four
the Four
horsemen.
Horsemen?
And y'all, I have to apologize because I have to go through the,
Yeah,
the
but it's-
narrative that is the person
Right.
who wrote the article in order to
It's-
get to the meat and
right.
taters.
Right. And thank you everyone who's been following along on our Facebook page. We have, yes, thank you, Joy. Joy says immigrants filing for legal entry, DNA testing, and biometric exit tracking.
Well, they claim, speaking of immigrants, what you said, they speculate that the in the left hand of the Vitruvian Man, they have the scales, and they have people on either side.
Uh-huh.
So they're both basically saying they don't know exactly who these people are, but they felt like it would have something to do with immigrants and border control and refugees and all this other stuff. So I agree. But they're doing a lot of predictive programming, which is to awaken the consciousness of the public, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're paying attention. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
Doesn't matter if they're giving you the information. You're not looking.
Right. Right.
You know?
It's hiding in plain sight. So to
That's
speak.
it.
Eyes
So
wide
to speak.
shut.
That's exactly right. So, what else it has?
I got the horseman.
The
for
four
you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. It said, of course, these are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And it is, hang on, I gotta pull it down. The white horse is said to symbolize conquest, pestilence, and the coming of the Antichrist. The red horse represents war. The black horse is associated with famine. And the pale horse brings death.
And they also call this
That
thing
was
a
on-
harvest thing. That harvest.
Yeah, the pale horse. I know
Mhm.
that's in the Bible. Is
Sure.
it not?
Uh-huh.
And then I also associate that with the movie Tombstone. One of the lines that he says,
Mm-hmm.
tell him the rider on the pale horse, and then tell him hell's coming with me.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving you all these signs in movies, in right here in front of a magazine. This magazine is $13, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So for posterity, if somebody may want to buy one or whatever,
Yeah.
but I mean, we're living this, or we're getting ready to.
Absolutely.
And so this
I
won't
want it just to
happen.
have it.
me too.
Huh?
I want it
Yeah.
just to have
I
it.
want to have it for posterity, yeah, just
And
to
then
have it in my
look
collection.
back
And,
when we
yeah.
when we
And
come
see
back
how it
2020.
changes.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
revisit and see what we
And
think.
see how it changes.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Well,
Uh-huh.
anytime Family Guy, whatever it is, who is it?
Yes.
Who's the one
The
that's always
Simpsons.
right? The Simpsons. If they can be right most of the time, surely this is going to be okay.
Right.
Okay,
Mhm.
because and they're pretty accurate because Simpsons have been spot on for maybe 9 or 10 instances, from Prince's death to Robin Williams to
Mhm.
the Obama, I mean, Trump. It's
Mhm.
all
Right.
been, it's all predetermined.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Oh
don't know how
yeah.
much of this we actually can deal with, but you know, and these companies, they're doing stuff to us, and we're not paying attention. I wasn't aware until a couple of days ago that Johnson & Johnson kind of admitted to having the knowledge that their talcum powder
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
would kill people.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
knew this, just like
Mhm.
cigarettes.
And-
they knew. They don't
They
care.
knew.
They
And the
want your money.
thing, what's
And we
crazy?
keep giving it to them.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It
Absolutely.
was crazy.
Yeah.
What's crazy is they did it in a way like, yeah, we knew.
Yeah,
Okay. And next, let's go on to this,
Mhm.
and let's go on
Because
to that.
that's-
And everybody
yeah.
else said, "Oh
But-
man,
And you know what? Because that's
Oh.
business. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't react, respond, stand up, have an opinion,
Right.
good old fashioned
That's
cornstarch
how-
people."
that's
I'm
how
telling you,
you
it's better for you.
That's
It'll
how
get
you
it
just
done.
go around and don't even pay attention to what they're
Yep.
doing. There are two roads out here, guys. There's a wide road to destruction where most people are going simply because they are being led
Mhm.
that way,
Mhm.
as they are not thinking on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you have the narrow road,
Uh-huh.
of which few of us are on, going the opposite direction,
Mm-hmm.
trying to awaken some of those that's going on the wide road.
Right. Right.
But if you're not listening, we're not going to tap you on your shoulder and turn you around and say, hey, come this
Hey,
way.
it's this way.
You need to
No.
get with the program, because otherwise you're going to go to destruction.
Can't
Right.
drag you. Can't drag
Absolutely.
you.
Right. We have Rebecca who's chiming in who says, "Sorry, I'm late, but why is Mirror Script demonic? And do we have free choice?"
You always have free choice. God gave us all free will. You
That's
have free
right.
choice, but basically a lot of the things that we think are choices are actually illusions. But
Right.
Absolutely.
more importantly,
It's
what
up
was
to
it?
us to be able to
That's it.
decipher
That's it.
and
But
do our own research.
But
of-
mirror script, Rebecca, is indicative of the occult because it's done in the reverse. A lot of their things are done backwards. They play
Manipulation.
music backwards. I now
Trickery.
stop and think
Yeah.
when my daughter was young, screw tapes,
Mm.
which was
Well, that
played
was
backwards.
slowed down. No, that wasn't played backwards.
Okay.
That was slowed down.
Okay, well, I have heard
Oh,
music.
slowed.
I have heard music played backwards.
Yes.
You know, and it says something totally different. Have
Didn't
you
they
ever-
say
have
that
you guys
about
ever heard
Manson?
that?
Yeah, that's
The movie
basically
The
on.
Exorcist, they were playing
Was that
stuff
the one?
back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, backwards
they
is
played.
indicative
It
of-
went backwards.
Yeah,
of-
Charles
Yeah.
Manson said they would listen to things backwards
Yeah,
and they
that's-
gave them a
mhm.
message.
So
and-
yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't invent this. We just passed the information on that's basically what it is. And you know, right now there's such passivity with our people.
I think too, a lot of people are under the illusion that, well, if it hasn't touched my house,
Then I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
They don't realize that. I call it the spilling over of things that are not good for us. Things don't remain in one place. The more they grow, the more they spill into the areas and infect
Right.
other areas.
Absolutely, you know, and then it's pandemic at that point.
Mhm, mhm.
Also on here you have I'm not sure why Angelina Jolie is here, other than the fact that that she's used to promote propaganda. You know, a lot of times. I mean, she's doing her little service work, but that's her Mona Angelina. If you put this up, in a, if you
okay.
Oh,
put
and
this,
see, I kept looking at
I
that.
kept
was
looking
like,
at it
"That's
too."
if you
so-"
put this in a mirror, it's all straight. That's why it's called mirror spirit.
Mhm.
You put it in a mirror. That's how I did it.
It's
And I
decided,
kept
right?
thinking
It's
that I needed to
deciphered.
do that, especially for that one. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
like, who is
that's
that?
Yeah.
that's Angelina Jolie, and then
Mhm.
also the mirror script. There was something else on here. They're speculating that the reptilian type animal at the bottom of the page
Mhm.
is that basically a lot of animals are going to become extinct.
Oh,
Well, they
I
already
believe it.
Oh, they are, but they're
believe
going
that
to
is.
probably become so at a faster rate because they're trying to get rid of all that's natural.
Oh yes, because
Mhm.
remember, there is no climate change and there is no such thing as global warming.
Yeah.
And this is from what's his name? From Trump himself, because you know he's smart about science, things like that.
You dummy, he can't even.
That's exactly what he said. I
And the
know
thing
about
is,
science, things like that.
And then people turn up
Yeah.
and they say, if there's no climate change, and they'll start naming all of these things, and like, what is this? What is this? What is this?
Yeah.
You know, well, you know, you have HARP, so all of this stuff can
Mhm.
also be controlled. See, what people seem to think is
Satellites.
that, you know,
Satellites.
God created all this, but God is not in this right now.
No.
No.
All
No.
of this that is going on,
God let us know this
That's
was going
right.
to happen.
this
He
is
sure
not
did.
it. He told us, and then and history is repeating itself.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Continues.
and
The
so,
dinosaurs, they speak.
absolutely, they say,
The Aztecs, the Mayans, all those
Absolutely.
societies and cultures. What happened?
Absolutely.
They diminished, started over again. A new society, a new
Absolutely.
culture, a new world. That's
And you know,
everything is exactly what has been told to us.
verbatim. And see, I realized something, and we got to go to break, but I wish I could find this song. It's called "The Sound of Silence." This song
Simon
was
and
written.
Garfunkel.
This song was written.
Mhm.
This song was written in 1963. Do you know it speaks of? We're going to come back from break. We're going to talk about transhumanism because this also has transhumanism in the midst of it.
The songs of silence.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
and that was in '63. Now you do remember, you know, we've done several different shows where, you know, like mass surveillance was written
Right.
by George Orwell. How many years ago?
Yeah.
60 years before
Right.
Snowden
Right.
actually whistleblown.
Right.
I mean, so all of this is in place. None of this is new.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Okay, I'm finding the lyrics for you.
Yeah, can you pull up that just a little bit? The Sound of Silence.
Silence.
very long song.
Oh, I want to have the last verse. The last verse basically says that we will have a neon god.
Right. Yes.
I have the words.
Yes.
You are listening to
And the guy who wrote it was
And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign fleshed out its warning in the words that it was forming.
and that's what it's
my
about.
Yeah,
co-host,
yeah.
Sophie Smooth, and DJ.
Mhm.
Right, they've remade that song a lot.
Yeah, somebody named Simon and Garfunkel made
Yeah,
it
do
in
the original
63,
Simon and Garfunkel.
but then some group
one.
named Disturbed
Mm.
made it
Right,
as well.
they're middle guys.
Because I listened to it backwards and they realized.
Okay,
Just
okay.
saying, just saying, just saying.
But if you just listen, are we back?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, I gotta get some orange juice.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's good
Something.
you knew who that was. Simon. That was one
Oh
of my
yeah.
favorite groups.
Well, you know what? I have it in my iTunes because when we were in 7th grade, my instructor used to sing it in class. Yeah, because he said he was in a band and that was one of the songs that they did, and he would do some of the songs, and that was one of them. That's why I never forgot it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Until you said that, as much as I've heard this song in my
You never
life,
thought about what it was.
but I was just getting on the planet in '63. So.
Right.
Ready?
63. Right.
And we are back. Thank you for staying around, family. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host.
Silky Smooth.
Daydream.
Your wellness warrior, Susan Day.
Now, we are talking about the world in 2019 as put out here for us to dissect and ingest and do whatever we need to do with it by the Economist magazine. Now, you're talking about money. That's the name of the magazine.
Economist, right?
The country, the world is actually run by bankers. So it all works. But at any rate, guys, I was going to mention transhumanism, which is also a part of what they show here with the Vitruvian man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the goggles and all of that. You know, how many years ago was it with $6 Million Man? What was it?
Right. Oh yeah, $6 million
Bionic Woman.
The
Bionic
Bionic Woman, the
years ago
$6 million man.
Right.
How many years ago
right.
were we introduced to that?
Right.
That was, all of these are precursors to get you ready. Now, these things that's on this
Back in the
page
70s,
may
80s.
not happen, you know, in the next 2 years, but neither did, you know, digital
Absolutely.
currency or
Right.
created a new world order. So it's going to take its course, but they're giving you the platform
Warning, yeah.
and the warnings of
Right.
what's going to happen.
So you can think it's cool
Well, we
when
have
it
to read
finally
between the
happens.
lines to
Mhm.
figure out
Small
the
Wonder?
warning.
That show, Small Wonder.
I never watched
Yes.
that. What was that about? I never
The
watched
little
that.
girl, the dad created this little girl robot, and
I didn't
she
see that.
Yeah, it's called Small Wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, I
See,
don't know
again,
that
all
one.
of this is again to
Living with
awaken
aliens.
you,
Come on, Alf.
to
Yeah.
keep you awakened to what's going on. But you know, I've seen so this even with, I'm sure this to you guys, this is part of the transhumanism. But is this not the Vitruvian Man that they
Exactly.
use, that they have
Him.
used for transhumanism?
Mhm.
This exact same
It
picture.
sure is.
So they're getting ready to really, bionically replace parts and that sort of thing, and whatever illnesses and all that's going to be gone, because the whole idea is that eventually I believe there will be an evolution of AI,
Of course.
and we've talked about that.
Yeah.
iRobot.
And you know they're also remaking the $6 Million Man.
They sure
Oh, he's
are.
probably
They're
he's not
remaking-
6 billion now.
Or he's
Yeah.
billion now.
Really?
That's
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure.
Doesn't even work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
they're remaking it.
But I'm just saying they're remaking it because they're bringing it back
Yep.
to you.
They're trying to refresh.
They're trying to refresh your memory, so when stuff goes down, you will not have not been warned. Now, however you decide to decipher that information, use it, store it, put it away if you like. But there's an undercurrent in this country right now,
Absolutely.
and for those that are sensitive to other people, other cultures, just the world itself, you feel it.
Mhm.
Others are being sidetracked by all of the extemporaneous noise and forces out there that means nothing,
Right.
and to distract. So we're being distracted, we're being dumbed down. So pretty soon we're just going to be able to just come this way, people. The whole road to destruction. Come on with me. Come this way. And unless you stop yourself in your tracks, that's pretty much where you're headed.
And you can't say you weren't told.
Okay.
Don't
But
shoot
I
the
didn't know they're
messenger.
going to bring this. And like I said, this is the Vitruvian Man. When I saw this is unbelievable to me that, and this is AI all involved together. But you remember the guy? Now, I don't know what these are called. Remember the runners that lose their legs and stuff, and they have these
Yeah, the
Blade,
animals,
like
pair
the
of
Blade
blades,
Runners.
kind of like
the
yeah,
titanium.
all,
Right,
all
right,
of that.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing all. Guys, they've probably already got something already in place. We just haven't
You know
physically
that.
seen it yet. But it'll come out in a movie first.
Right. Well, I mean, we have videos that we've shared amongst ourselves where you see Taylor Swift, where she's in the middle of an interview and she has basically a glitch, a breakdown,
Oh yeah.
and she like stops and repeats herself
And I didn't
and
see-
then starts up again.
I haven't
So-
seen hers, but I've seen so many others where they're glitched. I mean, Shaq,
right.
the ball play, and that's that mind
That
control,
reprogramming.
that MK Ultra.
Yep.
And people think this is TV. This is not. They
It
get
is
you caught up
not.
in Hollywood, so you think that
Right.
your world is Hollywood. It is
So that
not.
we're the crazy ones.
Exactly.
Right.
You know,
And so
we're the
you-
crazies. Oh, there they go again
Oh,
with
yeah.
their
Right,
ideas
right.
way out
And
there.
there's no such thing, guys, anymore as conspiracy theorists or theories. I think it's just pure
Conspiracy.
conspiracy that is now proving itself to be true.
And people too. I think people spend so much of their time being frightened to realize that this happens that it is easier for them to dismiss it. And the thing is, this is not the boogeyman that you can dismiss.
No.
This is real.
Yeah.
And if you keep dismissing it, you're going to look up and it's already going to be upon you. Well, I should say it already is upon you, but even more so than now.
Absolutely.
And it is $6 billion. Mark Wahlberg, it looks
Is
like.
I told you it's gonna be a billion. That's what I told. Has to
Oh,
be.
he's gonna be the $6 billion.
Yep, Mark
Is,
Wahlberg.
is his name
Lee
the
Major.
original
Lee
actor?
Major.
Lee Major,
Y'all
such
know
a
good
handsome
one.
man.
Okay. Then you have the bionic woman. I mean,
Oh, yeah. We wanted to get them together.
see all of these
Right.
things that we thought were just characters,
Mm-hmm.
Cool
Marvel
stories.
characters.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a story that.
Yeah, I'm
goes
looking
with
for the
it.
Iron Man. I know that's coming.
Oh well, that's like Mech Warriors. All these big
Mhm.
machines like they have in the Matrix. They have military
Oh,
machinery
sure.
that are
Sure.
robots.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Cyborgs.
yeah. So
They show
basically, if you watch Star Trek like I have
I
for
do.
years,
Yeah.
all the terminology that they used back then, even Kardashian, remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That and cyborgs and all the things you're mentioning, all that stuff now is
Still-
part of our conversation.
Right.
It didn't used to be.
Exactly. When he flipped that phone up,
That's right.
we ended up with flip phones.
That's
years
exactly
later.
right. You know,
Because my
That's
sister
They
and I
had
know.
communication
Yeah,
advances
right.
in Star
But none of
Trek.
this is new. See, we
Yeah.
have to, again. I maintain that we have either some connection with extraterrestrials that have been here. Because if you look at hieroglyphics and tetragrammaton in some of these countries on their walls, it'll show you a spaceman.
Mhm.
So that may explain the pyramids and some of these things that we
Man,
can't
the
do now.
precision.
The precision that we
Absolutely.
can't even copy right this minute. But bear in mind, somebody that I worked with the other day mentioned to me, one of my buyers mentioned, it could have been giants.
Could have been.
The
They were
giants come
saying
from
they were
Gath,
Yeah.
which is a little city that's outside of Palestine, which is where Goliath came from.
Exactly.
So you
Right.
could have giants that could move those huge stones
Absolutely.
and
Right.
Yeah.
you know, but how else can we explain that? And pyramids are all over the world. They're not
Absolutely.
just
Correct.
Yeah.
They're
Absolutely.
finding more and more
Absolutely.
civilizations underneath.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
it's all
we
over
have,
the
you know,
world.
it's funny. We touched a little bit on this conversation with my family on New Year's Eve. You know, my tia asked, you know, do y'all believe there's aliens? Do you believe that there's
Absolutely.
And I absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know, I was actually surprised that a few of my cousins immediately, yes, absolutely. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought I was the only one here. They're like, oh no, absolutely. We talked about how technology is 50 years ahead
Ahead.
of what we actually have.
And
with
also,
us.
and also,
Absolutely.
guys, the Men in Black.
There.
Are
Oh
real.
yes, the Men in Black
That's
are real.
real.
Yeah.
Well, too.
You know, people think that's a joke. They
It's
do.
not
They do
their
have a
real.
governmental agency that controls aliens.
They might be
I know
swiping
they
our
probably said she
memory
must be
as we
drinking, smoking.
speak.
Absolutely, all those UFO sightings
They
and
don't-
everything. They
Yes.
always, well, they sent a special team. Who is
Yeah.
that special team? The Men in Black.
The Men in
people.
Black.
Let's
That's
talk.
exactly right.
Absolutely.
The Jump Out Boys, the Alphabet Boys. Come on now, CIA, FBI,
Yeah,
all of that.
And who was it? There was a scientist quite some time ago. I wish I could remember who it was. And he said it is blind arrogance if we believe that the
We're
universe
the only
belongs to
ones
just
here.
us.
That we're the only ones
He said
here.
it's blind arrogance.
It
He
is.
said we're just a speck in the midst of many, many planets and many, many. It's just so happened though, like you said, they cover up anything because we're not ready. We're not ready to hear what's real.
We need
We're not
to do a
ready
show where
to.
you can't handle the truth. 'Cause-
Oh,
Right,
that
you
is.
can't handle
I
the
have
truth.
on my-
Let us jot that down.
Especially if I
already
could
have it on
find the research and find something a little bit more tangible about the society that is functioning without man-made laws. They're out there living on their own in a peaceful world.
I tell you that the Amish. I was talking to the guy that I work for, a custom building I work for, and somewhere he was saying that near wherever his dad is from, they have these Amish people that at 10 o'clock at night they're going horse and buggy to take their stuff to town to do their quality of living. I really appreciate how they live because the day the lights go out,
They're ready.
They are ready.
they are prepared.
They're
the only
They
ones.
have not been marred by cell phones, computers,
Yeah.
none of that.
Everyone's
They'll
gonna
say the
lose their
lights are
mind.
always out here at this
And it'll
time.
be chaos, and they'll be like, "What's the
Everybody's
problem?"
going to trip
Right.
out.
It's a normal, everyday thing for them.
Absolutely.
And physically too, their ability to do things physically. Like when you think about just staying in physically good shape.
Oh yeah,
They're
farm
moving.
work,
Naturally,
ranching,
yeah.
churning butter.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
eating
Churning
well.
butter.
Absolutely.
For real.
They're
Churning,
eating
but they
well.
still
rolling
churn
their
butter,
own.
people. That's
Absolutely.
hard work.
My mama said.
It is
And they
very
make
You know,
cheese,
still
I
milk.
think.
Yes, absolutely. My
Milk
mama
cheese.
still makes cheese. You know, she makes fresh goat
That's
cheese.
what I'm saying.
That's a lot of work.
They're living
Mhm.
well, okay? They're
Absolutely.
living better than we are. They're healthier than we are. So we chose this, but it's not necessarily the best thing for us. But I think on that tip, guys, we pretty much got to get out of here.
I think so.
You know, the
I
show
think
we
so.
hear them. But Silky, can you take us to our gratitude,
Absolutely.
appreciation?
Let's see here. Yes. Gratitude makes us young. The invariable mark of wisdom is to see the miraculous in the common.
Oh,
Mhm.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, he still runs in the miracle business. You know that.
Absolutely.
That's
We gotta believe it.
Well, guys, on that tip, we will get out of here, and we appreciate your time and your coming in and visiting with us.
Yes,
on this time.
absolutely. Thank you, everybody who followed along with us on our Facebook live feed. Make sure you hit up our website at www.allaboutyouShow.info.
Takes a minute. I
That's
know.
all about you, the letter U, show.info.
You do better than me.
And I suspect that we shall see you next. You have something else?
Today's show was brought to you by Image. I make a great employee, executive and entrepreneur etiquette training seminars where life skills meet social graces. Please visit www.bizimage.com. That's www.yourbizzimage.com for more information.
Until next week, guys, we will see you on the radio. Yes.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Oh, there we go. Listen. Beyond God. That was in the